The economic fallout, though, that we're continuing to track from the coronavirus pandemic and outbreak is being felt by U.S. casinos and the industry there, as the workforce, as 98% of the gaming properties in the U.S. have been forced to close. So, joining us now to discuss is Bill Miller, who's the president and CEO of American Gaming Association. Bill, so great to have you here on the day, and thank you so much for taking the time. What supportive action, let's start here, do you want to see from the federal government for the gaming industry?
Well, I think all of us in the hospitality industry are shuttered. To date, as you said in your open, we're effectively as an industry shuttered across the country, both tribal casinos as well as commercial. We have just about 1,000 casinos across the country, and including if you think about what that means in terms of what are we as an industry, we are people, and right now we got hundreds of thousands of people that are out of work today and that will likely be out of work for the next couple of months. And so as we look at what Congress is doing with the administration, it's how can we do as much as we can as quickly as possible to get people to certainty about their economic future, at least and while this health crisis continues.
And so the American Gaming Association says if America's casinos stay closed for the next 2 months, it will cost the U.S. economy $43.5 billion in economic activity. Do you think that casinos are being unfairly ignored by the government in terms of potential willingness to offer direct stimulus to this industry?
No, actually, Brad, I've been encouraged by the fact that lawmakers and the administration have recognized the important value that the gaming industry brings, not just to Las Vegas and Atlantic City, which people think so often about, but the gaming industry is in 43 states around the country. We are economic drivers in communities in which we operate. And so I think there is a broad recognition that the gaming industry, just like the hospitality industry in a larger measure, deserves and requires important stimulus and aid at this time.
And so, how are U.S. casino gaming companies doing their part to assist their employees? We've seen a broad sweep of actions across many of these businesses that employ so many, just as the casinos do.
Well, I think that what you're seeing is you're seeing that commitment to the communities in which we operate go on from places like Las Vegas and Atlantic City and the Gulf Coast. And this is not something new. I think back to post Katrina, when the entire Gulf Coast region was destroyed, the casinos were some of the first people back in there to support the people, even though those casinos were destroyed as well. What we're seeing is whether it's contributions to food banks or to employee funds to create short-term financial opportunities for their workers who are being displaced. Our employers have a commitment to the employees that is very important, and one that I think they all recognize will be a benefit in the long run because we'll be able to keep our people attached to the industry.
Okay, quickly before we let you go, how long could they continue paying their workforce commitments that we've seen come out from the casinos? How long could they carry those on? And then quickly, the closures as well have been government mandated. Do you agree with the mandation, the mandating across the states and those decisions that we've seen?
Well, I'm not a healthcare expert. One of the things I would say is that we take our cues just like everybody else in the business community, and that is, this is about healthcare and this is about safety, and we care about that from our workers, our patrons, and the rest of the communities. And so I don't want to pine about that piece of it. Every one of our companies are different in terms of their financial wherewithal to continue. But one thing I am certain that each of them, whether they be tribal or commercial, have a commitment to those employees to pay them as long as they can. But it requires, and that's why we're so insistent and so active on the Hill right now to try and ensure that we can get as much relief as possible to the industry because it really, really needs it right now.
All right, Bill Miller, President and CEO of the American Gaming Association. Thank you so much for taking the time here on the day, and hope you're staying safe and healthy.
You too. Thank you so much.